noting down. Okay, so today I'll start with some tips. So whenever you get some object identification problem in the application, then you can use some unique ID. For example, Windows ID is always unique, so you can find some ID or some value of property whose value is unique always, so you can use that in your descriptive. And if you want to capture a value of some object, then the method you can use is get RO property. Always it's important to remember this method, get RO property, which will take the some property name. So for example, if you want to capture the text of an object, then look for the object name, so that it will capture the object value and store it in some variable. And to run, there is a shortcut F5, so it will, if you want to execute, you can also press F5 instead of clicking on the particular run button here. If you see here, so instead of clicking on this run, you can also press F5, that's a shortcut. And debug mode, if you want to run, F11, so every time you have to press F11 for each line I showed you. Every descriptive starts with the browser and then page. So standard object property for browser is name, most likely, but you can also take different one. And for page it would be title 99% of time, so unless otherwise specified. So then we will see an example. Log into web application discovery and using descriptive and get RO property we have already seen, so I don't have to explain again. So we have seen like log into web application and use the get RO property in some way to capture something. So what I did is logged into a web application here, and I want to capture, there is a drop down called depart and arrival, right? So if I want to capture the values, number of values, like Gautam had some doubt earlier this morning. So if you want to capture the number of items in a drop down, so use the get RO property, and items count is the property name, so it will automatically catch all those number and store it in n. So you can use n, that means you can use a for loop. So here web list is the drop down, so the browser dot page dot web list, I have already, with function is normally used for to repeat something, right? So it already repeated with a with, that means browser dot page. Now whatever is followed with until end with, it will repeat this, that means I don't have to repeat browser dot page every time. So directly I start with dot web list, and dot web list is a drop down. I want to capture the number of items in the drop down, so you always use the get RO property method, and you have to pass the property name, which is our items count. So simply it will return 10, 12, 13, 100, whatever, dynamically. Then what is the purpose of this? I want to run, I want to select those values every time, one after another. So you can create a for loop 1 to n. So if there are 10 values, it will run 10 times. Then whatever you want to do inside, you can do. So I want to get item, so get item for web list will capture the value of that particular. So get item 1 will capture the first value of drop down, and so forth, and store it in a variable. And if you want to select it, then you can also select it. Second time you can select the second value, and blah blah blah. So go, so forth. So we have already seen this. Then you can also use get RO property method for checking some property of a variable. So here this is very important. In the descriptive we don't use checkpoints. Go on.
Sangam, actually that is not my doubt is regarding that web element. It's not web list, Sangam, so it's a web element and a web edit. So this code is not working. That's the problem, sir.
Right. That depends on your application. I can't speak for your application, because whatever application web object name you find, you have to play with that only. If it is not a web list, if it is a web item, or if it is a web element, if it is a web edit, you must use that element only, and try to just put dot, and automatically you will see get our property. If you want to capture some property or check something, always the mantra is get our property. So here we have already seen get our property to what to do, to capture number of elements. Get item is to capture the value of this. If it is a web element, you have to find the appropriate methods applicable only by typing dot. When you type dot, all those methods listed will be listed in the drop down, right, as suggestions. Then only you have to choose appropriate method accordingly, no other way. So when you, if you type web element and you put the dot and name colon is equal to something, then put dot, you know what I'm saying. So then automatically the available methods will be displayed there itself. Then you have to choose accordingly there itself. There is no other way. So here get out property is mostly available for any object, so 99.99%. So here what I'm trying to do is, here I'm trying to check if particular web list is disabled or enabled. So that's like checkpoint, inserting a checkpoint. We have already seen using a checkpoint, right? Standard checkpoint, text checkpoint. So instead of using standard checkpoint, I am using getArrow property. That means getArrow property is used for validating anything in the descriptive program. The checkpoints are used to validate anything in the record and playback. So if you are following descriptive, always use getArrow property. So here if it is disabled, it will return true. If it is not disabled, that means enabled, it will return false. So that's the thing. So and go, if x is equal to 0, 0 means false. So disabled, false means enabled. That means web list is enabled. So if web list is enabled, that's what I am doing. Then I am reporting dot reporter event. It says airline drop down is enabled. See, pass. My test case is pass. Else, if web list enable and web list is disabled, that means disabled is equal to true. True is 1. If x returns 1, which is the else condition, then I have to print this one, that means fail. So and end if here, next for the for loop here, and the end with is for the width. So every loop that I have started must be ended with somewhere or another, like end if or next or end with. So that is the importance and significance of the getArrow property. You can use for multiple purposes. Always remember getArrow property to use in your program. Okay, now we will see the database connection and descriptive programming. How to connect to the database, whatever database you are using, runtime descriptively. So very important. So this is used for while running the automation program. If you want to connect to database and retrieve the data from database, then tester must use the following code. Then you might ask, what is the significance of this? Why do you want to get the database values from the runtime? Why not you capture in prior hand, then store it in some variable and use it? So that is not a good idea, because if you run the program today and store the values in some variable and the database changes next day, because if you insert your test data is inserted or updated, database is always dynamically changed every time, it's not static. Then next time you cannot play with the updated database with the old captured values. You know what I'm saying? So in that, if you do that, that will result in the wrong automation results. It will show instead of pass, fail, and vice versa. So in that perspective, if you connect to database whenever you're running your automation program, right, then you connect to database and capture the values. So that will always result in your successful automation program. So that's what we are doing here. So what I will do is I will simply copy this. This is pretty much standard code. So only thing is you have to understand how the code works. So I will just explain this code and take an example of our flight reservation application and see. So for database, we need to create 3 variables, since everything is a dim variable, right? So you declare as dim variable. First variable is object connection, objcon. Second variable is record set. Third one is to store the values of database records when you run some SQL query. So 3 elements are required. Now first of all, there is a built-in method called create object to create ADO-DB connection. So simply you use a create object with ADO-DB dot connection and store that in a variable called objcon. So automatically this will connect to the database. Second line. Then you have to create a record set. So what do? You use the create object method, and there is a argument. It's also default by built-in ADO-DB.record set. So and you store that value in the record set. These are the two mandatory steps. Always remember. So first we establish the connection, and we created a record set. By record set, set is used to store the records, database records. Then once I establish the database connection, I have to open the database, correct? So using this objcon, I can open the database. So objcon dot, there are different methods, open, close, database, blah blah blah, right? So you open, when you put dot, always when you press dot, automatically it will suggest QTB available method. Then open, what database you want to open, it will ask. I want to open Qt_flight32 database. So there will be database name in your project. You have to ask your developer or the DBA guy. So he will give the database name. So once you open the database, what will you do? Manually, that's what you do. Exactly what you do manually, I am doing automatically, automation wise here. After opening the database, you will run a SQL query, right? Then what I am doing is, in the X variable, I am storing the whole SQL query as a string. Since everything is dim, you don't worry about the string here. So my SQL query is select star from orders, or select order number from orders, or whatever. So just remember that do not put any semicolon. It will not take semicolon here. Normally you will put semicolon at the end of the SQL query, right? So now record set, you have to open the record set also. You have created, established the object database connection, then you have opened the database, then you also created record set, then you have to open the record set after creating the SQL query here. That's what I'm doing. So record set.open, it will take the arguments, two arguments. One is the SQL query itself, second one is the database opened, whatever you open database, right? The database connectivity object itself. So both are passed here. So once record set is set, then you have to, then what it will do, automatically it will run this query, and manually also you will run that query. You will press F5 and it will run query, and it will fetch, if the valid query is there, it will fetch 5 records, 10 records accordingly. So let's say there are 5 records. Now what you have to do, what QTB has to do, it has to go through one record at a time until it reaches the last record. So let's say there are 5 records, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, now my condition is until it does not reach the end of the file. EOF means end of the file. I already told you while we are talking about the flat file thing, right? So while record set dot end of the file is not reached, that's a negative condition. Until then I have to capture the order number. I want to capture order number, right? That's what I'm interested in. If you want to capture multiple columns, you can also put multiple. So order number is a variable in which I am storing record set of that particular order number, 1 2 3 4 5. So let's say, then okay, if you want to just debug and see what is the order number, you can just put message box, otherwise it's not required. Then that is the first record, right? Then you have to move to the second record. Then how do you move to the second record? Using the record set, move next is the method. Okay, are you following? Are you sleeping? Hello? Okay, just say okay, so that I okay, just for the 5 minutes. every 5 minutes just
Sangam, this is like a standard program, like for any time we to connect to the database is standard program.
exactly, this is a pretty much standard program. Every time you use this, I'm just explaining how it works. So here record set dot move next will go to next record every time until it reaches the end of the file. Then what I'm doing, while went, while, how do you close the while end is the w end, that is the closing of while loop. Then since you already opened the record set dot open, whatever you open you must close, remember. So since I opened the record set, I am closing. Only in the same order you have to do. Since last time I opened while loop, right, you have to close it first time, then record set, then record set is closed, and the first time I have opened the object connection, then I will close it at the end. So this is the pretty much standard program for the database connectivity at a runtime. Okay, so now if you have any doubts you can speak right now, or while explaining example also you can speak. So I will take an example and show it to you guys. So pretty much I'll take this example. Okay, let us see the example in QTP. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new test. I think we are already in the new test, right? Let's save it. Okay, I think I'll create a new test. Okay, so let's save this. Okay, can you type database connectivity here? Be careful. So I'm simply pasting the whole program, and this, since it's pasted in one line, okay, so here what I'm trying to do is I'm creating a function. So the best way to create this program is to create the database connectivity thing as a function and call that function in your test as required. So that's the best way. Instead, otherwise you have to write this program in your test whenever you want to connect to database and run the SQL query and store the variable. So that is ridiculous, right? Since we have the keyword driven approach already, what I have to do, simply I have to open a new library, or you can also use the existing library and put that function. Remember, always for a given program you can simply use a single library. If you want to use multiple libraries, that's fine, but it will be cumbersome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open an existing library. In one library you can store as many functions as you want, so that's why it's suggested. So single library is always good, and we have created so many functions. The functions definition will be there, but unless and until you call them, it won't be used, so don't worry about it. So simply I am pasting the whole function here rather than in the test itself. So this is my public function. Function name is connectDB, and I am taking two arguments here. For one is string connection and string query. Okay, now I am going to take a separate line, separating into each line. So this is 1 second. Control V. Oh, that's the reason. Okay. So let me segregate this. Okay, once this is open, I'm trying to open the connectivity. That's right. Oh. Control Z. So first I'm creating function definition connectDB, which is taking two arguments, connection and query, and then I am establishing the database connectivity. Same thing, only thing is we have changed the variable name, so that doesn't matter. Then record set element I am creating. So after this I am opening the connection element. Object connection dot open will do that. Okay. It will take, okay, if you have to show what object, what database you want to open, right? So you have to pass the connectivity element, object connection dot open, and what is that? It will take one argument. Same thing in the standard program also, right? So that's my this thing. Okay. So the only thing is here, you can ask why you are already passing the database name here. Why are you not passing a database name here? Can anybody tell me why I am not passing the always when you are opening the database, it will ask the database name, right? Open database name. So what is this? It's not database name. Anybody? Because I am passing this as a argument. This is the database name. When I am calling this, I will pass this. So I will show you. So that's a, this is a variable for the database name, not the database name itself. Okay. So then
you can pass multiple databases, right?
No, you can only work with one database at a time. You cannot open multiple databases. That's not
not at a time. I mean
one after another, yeah. So that's why this is a good idea. Second time, if you want to open a different database, you can pass a different value. I will show you. So that is in database call here. See. So this time I am taking a different. You can take different database. Okay, while calling that will be taken care of. So then object record set open, and then that will take two elements, right? One is a query and second one is the object connection. So then object record set move first, do until. So here instead of while loop I can also use do until. There are different loops, for loop, while loop, do while loop, do until loop, and blah blah blah. So I can use do until. That will also do the same purpose. So until end of the file is reached, it will do. Instead of negation, it's a positive thing. Object record set end of the file until it reaches the end of the file. That is similar to, if you understand the logic, that is similar to while it does not reach the end of the file. See the difference, both are similar. While it does not, record set does not reach the end of the file, your query will be run. The meaning is similar to until the record set reaches the end of the file. You understand? Both are similar. Just think about it. Logically, both are similar. Okay. Now, number of records I am message boxing so that you know the number of records and how many records you can exactly see, and move next will go to the next record each time. For example, your SQL query returns 5 records, so you have to every time move next to go to the next record. So how do you end the do until? With a loop. That's how the control structure works. Then whatever you opened, you have to close the record set first, last in first out. That's the mechanism. Connection you close, and object, then once you close, it's a good practice to set it to nothing, right? Set object connection to is equal to nothing, object record set to nothing, so that it will not result in the memory leakage. Otherwise the memory will be wasted. This is how the computer works, right? Every time you create a variable, internally it will create some memory space for that variable. Since you have created it and closed it, after closing it shouldn't be open. Only until you set it to nothing, it will be completely closed, so that next time you run it, the previous memory will be completely erased. So which is a good practice. It's not mandatory. These two lines are not mandatory. Even these close are not mandatory. Nobody will say anything. Even QDB doesn't show error. But it's a good practice, best practices. Okay. So then you end the function. So that is the code, and we are trying to see the code here.
Unmuted.
Sangam,
Go ahead, Soma.
where is the query in this function?
Query is passed as the argument. That's what I told you, right?
Okay.
Hold on. We are parameterizing everything. We are not even passing the query as a hard-coded value. I will show you. So once it is set, I will explain you. So object connection dot open, it will take.
Object connection dot open, it will take.
Create object, that is over. Open. No. String object. Okay. So then we are starting the do until the end of which file is reached. Then you are just message boxing so that you can understand how many records are there. And then you move next to each, then loop ended, then record set is closed, then object connection is closed, then you set object connection to nothing, and control V. You set object connection to nothing, and then you set object record set to nothing, then finally you end the function. Okay, now this is the definition of the function. Since we are not directly testing this in the test, we are writing a library function first, then we'll call. Okay, now to answer the question, this is syntactically correct, there is no error in the information, that means our program is correct. Okay, now to answer Somo's earlier question, why we are not passing the query? We are passing the query, but we are passing it as a variable here. See, this is the query. The function takes arguments. One is a connection object, one is a query, string query, str query means. So when I call this function, I will pass the actual query, select star from order number, that query in the calling portion, in this one, not in here. So that will be a general program, most generic database connection program is this. This is how you write. If that question is resolved, we will jump to this. Here, control A, delete this one. So we are not going to use this. Delete it from here. Okay. So here we will simply call the function we have created in library. So for that, I have to associate this library with the test, right? How do I associate this test? The library is there, right? Unless and until you associate the library with the test, you cannot use the functions that are defined. You cannot call those functions in the library. So you have to go to setting. This is very important. Okay. So go to resources. Here you make sure, since we have already added the library, it doesn't matter. But if you are doing it for the first time, you must add using the plus sign and always select the library. Especially if you have multiple libraries, you must add those libraries. Since we are only maintaining one library, it's already added, so no problem here. That means if I have added this library, that means that I can use or call these functions in my test simply. Okay, now calling time.
Sangam.
Go ahead. So go
Yeah. If you are creating your libraries in the HPLM, there is no need of associating it again, right?
See, I'll tell you. I'll answer that question in a moment. Okay, I'll paste this here. Okay. See, the library can be stored either locally or in the HPALM or quality center. Okay. So once you establish the quality center connection or ALM connection, you can store it. Still, you must associate. Only the difference is your path will change here. See, if you come to resources, here it says QTP session / library. Why it is QTP session? Because it's a relative path. Why relative path? Because that's where I am storing. In the lengthy, the whole path is very lengthy. C, HP, quality center, then QTP sessions is my folder. Remember, in that I have stored. Okay, if you want to capture it from your own things, the own ALM where you have stored it on the server, then you are called you have to first establish the connection to ALM, and then it will show the icon here. Then you enter it to ALM and it will show your library is there. Then you select the library from your ALM. So in that case also you must associate this. Association is important, must.
Yeah, I don't know, like they are like associated for me, like all.
Yeah, because in your project your your automation manager is already associated. That's why you don't have to reassociate again. But association is a must. Otherwise, it simply wouldn't know, right, where the library is coming from, where the method is coming from. That is a logically thing. The test must be associated with the library. Library can sit in your local system or on the server. ALM doesn't matter. You simply point it to the library. Then only you can use the methods in your call. You can call those methods. Otherwise, it's not possible. Okay. Now we are going to call our function that we have created for the database connectivity. So database connection is called. So what is my database connection function name? Connection DB, right? Yeah. So whatever I give the name, I have to use the same name for calling also. Okay, so I'm coming to this. So connect DB. So call connect DB and you have to pass the connection string and your query in the calling. So now let us see. This whole thing is a connection string. Now, yesterday Gautam asked one question: how to create a connection string. So connection string for the QTP flight database, it will create, QTP will create automatically. But in your project, the connection string you have to ask DBA. Only DBA will give. So total .mdb is your Microsoft database. If you have Oracle or SQL Server or DB2, accordingly the DBA will create the connection string for you. So you must ask him. And then that is the first argument. Second argument is the select query. So this is where I am passing actual query. Select order number from order, whatever. So this is the most generic program for the database connectivity. So it will simply input this query and fetch the results, desired results. So let us simply run. Now it is just execution time. Okay, now let us see, there is a expected statement is missing. What is the error? Okay, what is the error? Expected statement in the line 2. That's the line 2. Okay, what is the error? Anybody can find out before I find out. Okay, still that's error. Okay, so I thought brackets would not be necessary. Call is not necessary, right? So we can simply call. Why do we use call? Okay, now put the brackets. Brackets are necessary. What is missing? Expected statement. Okay. Already, so that is the first argument and that is the second argument. So remember, there are quotes within a quotes. So you have to use escape character. Okay. See you. Oh, okay. Now the thing is, the path does not exist. This is a different path in my previous computer. Okay. And in this samples folder, your database must exist. So most likely this is. Yeah, I have earlier taken a class on this HP UFT 11.50 version. Obviously that wouldn't work in this 10.50 version, right? So let us change. So in this case, I'll simply create the database connection string using QTP itself. Then we will play around. Or you can also how do you do that? Okay, let me do this. Simply our connection string is wrong here. So how do you create the connection string normally? Earlier we have created connection string, remember?
Yeah. Connect. Like you mean the options or this?
For example, okay, let me go to data table. You can also use the checkpoint, database checkpoint here inside database checkpoint. That is one way. So the point is, while using database checkpoint or while importing the data from database, it will ask the to create a database connection string. So that's, I can use it from there. So here, if you select this option here, database connection string, right? Now if I click on the create button and select the database type here, it will create the database connection. This is what I require. Okay, now Control A, Control C, Control A, Control C, okay. Cancel. I don't need to. Okay, now I'll pause it. Cannot use parentheses while calling is sub. Okay, parentheses must be required. Okay, now error is gone. So the thing is, while calling a function, you have to remember two things. You cannot use call. So directly use the function name for calling. And for passing arguments, you cannot use a parenthesis. Directly pass the arguments in the quotes. Two things. Just note it down somewhere. So for example, if you want to call the open order, right?
Parenthesis means like the brackets, right?
Brackets, yeah. If you want to,
but
why?
Argument sometimes you pass in the brackets, right? Sometimes.
No, that is in Java. In VBScript you don't. While creating a function, you use the parenthesis, but not while calling. So open order number is the argument, right? So how do you call here? How do you call? Just write. How do you call the open order? Simply open order and pass the order number. Space. There you go. It is asking order. Do not use parentheses. Even the tooltip shows a parenthesis. Just enter 3. Just enter 3 there. Okay, that's it. That will be your calling portion. See, that's why it's not showing any error. Okay, that is the simplest way. Okay, now delete that. We don't want to call that.
No, wait.
Delete that
Wait.
thing. Delete. delete, delete. Okay, now we will run it. Okay, and see if it connects to database and does the operations. Remember, there is no front-end activity in the database, so that's why it won't show anything. Only it will fetch the desired results in the backend. Database is the backend, right?
Sangam, like today I sent you the WhatsApp message, like
I did not see the WhatsApp message.
browser
What
that
is your
says
doubt?
that web element, and in that one I am in that if I am passing arguments, then I have using parentheses, right?
I did not check your WhatsApp message, Gautam. What is the doubt? Oh, you are saying you use a parenthesis in your calling. You cannot use parenthesis. Right? That's what we have seen.
Yes. Like the code is like, for example, browser dot page dot web element of class. I use the brackets and the
That's
class
okay.
is equal
That's
to
why you can use the brackets in that descriptive programming, right? Browser bracket open, name colon is equal to your name bracket close. That's where you use the brackets. I am not saying.
Yeah.
While calling a function, you cannot use brackets for the arguments. That's a difference. You have to understand difference. I am not saying you cannot use brackets anywhere. There is a difference between calling a function and descriptive programming and defining a function. Okay, so our database programming. Okay, don't worry about this. I think that whatever answer I gave you, you understood that, right? You can use brackets in the descriptive. We have already seen it. Well, that's a fundamental question. Why you are getting that right now? What I am saying is you cannot use brackets while. Okay, then you have to debug that error and see what's resulting. I cannot see your program. And here, what I am saying is, while calling a function, listen carefully. While calling a function, you cannot use parentheses for passing the arguments. Here, directly I pass the arguments with like this quotes, first arguments, comma. You can separate using comma. You cannot use a parenthesis. Okay. Now our program is successfully executed, and what I am retrieving the results, it is showing the number of records. Number of records it's showing as -1. That means there are no records or some lack of records. If I click OK, okay, 1 is the order number 1. That's it. Then it is going to the second one, and it got error. Item cannot be found in the following connection corresponding to the requested name or ordinal. C program blah 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 library.tfl. Okay, message box object record set 1. Okay, since this is not required, we can comment it. Okay, if we skip it, next record order number 2. So basically you cannot message box the order record set. You can record set, this is not required. You see why the record set this is throwing error at this 41 line, because I am trying to use the what you call array. Since that particular record has only one element, it is only fetching order number, which is the 1 per record only, right? So if I want to, if that particular result set has 2 records, order number comma name, then name would be this particular line. Always array start with 0, first, second. Obviously, since there is only one element in the first record, second record, third record, right? So it will obviously show the error there. So that's why you are getting it. So simply to avoid that error, what I have to do, I have to remove that. So this is not required, you know. Understood why it is not required now? Because our connection string only, our SQL query only results in fetching order number, that is 1 only, right? Order number comma name, that would be 2. Order number comma name comma number of tickets, that is 3. Now since I am fetching only one column per record, this is nullified, this is not required, that's why it's showing it cannot find. So simply okay, now if I run this, it should run. Are you on the same page with me or not? Say yes or no. All right, yes, no, all right, something.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, now our test case should pass. 1, number of records 2, 3. How many times it will come total? Anyone? Any guess? It depends on the number of orders. How many orders we have? We have 17 or something, right? I have showed you sometime. It depends on your database. You have to click OK.
Why number of records is -1, Sangam?
No, that is some ordinal number. Number of records is -1 is wrong. So we have to check. That's a good question. We'll check. 104. 107 is the last. Remember last time we created 107. 106. 107. So that's it. Okay, that's not error. That's a good question. We will look into that. Why it is showing number of records instead of 17 or something? It's showing -1, right? Okay. Good catch. Keep it up, Somo. Okay, now simply our test case is done.
Just woke up from my sleep, that's why.
Okay, good. Okay, now you have to resolve the point because you woke up, your mind is fresh now. Why it is showing number of records here? This is where it is showing the wrong number of records. It's not failure, but it's a kind of warning. So why it is showing -1 instead of 17? Okay, I'll give you some time. Think about it. Both Gautam and you, so both think on it. Where that is coming from? Why it is showing -1?
Like maybe in the line 40 object record set is 0. Why is 0?
No, that's the array, right? I told you
Yeah,
already.
but
Your record, you are running your query is like this: select order number, not star. Star means all the records, all the columns. Your query is select order number from your table name. So order number is just one column. So since it's only one column, your array will start with 0.
Okay.
So that's why object records 0. That's what I'm message boxing. So those records always will store in array, and array starts with 0. So there is only one. That's it. Earlier we put object record set 1. That means there must be a second column. Since our query doesn't fetch second column, obviously it couldn't find. That's why I had to remove it. Now, why the question is why object record set dot record count is showing -1 instead of some number, integer, positive number. Okay, now you think where it is coming from, where it is coming, taking that -1. What is the best way to debug it? Run it in debugging mode and see why it is showing -1, right?
maintenance one mode you can run it, right? Sangam? You can run in the maintenance one mode also, right?
No. Why maintenance mode? When you run in the maintenance mode, only when your object properties change. Remember I told you yesterday. You run your program in the maintenance mode when developer has changed the object properties. Then in the maintenance mode it will ask you to change the object properties right then. So that's the maintenance mode. That's the name, maintenance. The developer is maintaining the application by changing some properties of the objects in the application. So that's when you run the maintenance mode. But when do you run in the debug mode? You want to figure out why something is, you're not getting the desired result, or you are getting errors in your own program, not the developer's program. So there is a difference. So right now we don't want to run the maintenance mode because there is no objects. We are not dealing with the object application, right? We are dealing with the backend. So obviously there is no question of objects here, but there is a question of why object record set dot record count is showing minus value instead of plus positive value. What is the object record set? First of all, you have to dig down into it. What is the ampersand
Object
represent?
record set is like where
Yeah, go on.
ampersand is for like concatenating.
No. Ampersand is for variable. This isn't a variable, right? That's the indication for. It's not concatenation. Concatenation is plus. Ampersand is not the concatenation operator. Okay. Now, object record set.
Somewhere ampersand is used for concatenation of the right? Concatenation of the string.
No, Gautam. Plus is a concatenation operator. Ampersand is the variable. If you know the C language, right? Ampersand of the ampersand followed by the variable name will represent actually variable name. It indicates that this is a variable. Dot record set. So since our object record set here, where it was here, so that's an object, that's a variable basically. Even though we have not used dim, that means we have used option explicit, we can directly declare the objects, declare the variables. So the ampersand represents that it is a variable simply. It's not concatenating. We are not concatenating anything. Do you see any concatenation? Number of records, object records. So here object record set dot record count, right? So this is where it is. Okay, let us try and run one more time. Still showing number of records -1. Okay, it will go on until 7. Okay, we can kill it here. We cannot kill it. The problem is you have to completely go on to it. Now go back to. It's not fail, but it's simply wrong results. Okay. Okay. Now think. Dot record count. Okay, is this a method correct? Just delete it. Delete one more, backspace. Put dot. Now to find out the methods available, just put dot. Sorry, it's not showing methods. Okay, space. Message box, prompt, optional button. Okay, now delete dot and start again. Okay, that's interesting. Control Z. Go on. Record count. Object. Record set dot. Control Z. It is simply showing -1. This is showing -1. Record count. Okay, now I got it. Okay, why it is showing? Okay, anybody, before I tell the answer, okay, anyone, wake up from the sleep.
I'm not reading something, but I'm unable to find where it's having that message box problem. Why it's showing the -1?
Exactly. Why it is showing -1? Okay. Gautam, you are done now.
The message box only.
Okay. Your time out now. Somo.
Not sure.
Okay, time out. You are always not sure.
Okay, time out.
Simply, since you are trying to message box in the while loop, right? Since it's a first record, right? First record starting with it's saying record before reaching the first record, the number of count of records will be -1 obviously, since you are doing the message box inside the loop. So simply you have to put it outside, because you simply want to find out the number of records, so you don't have to be in the loop, right? So where you have to do exactly after
the loop.
After this point, right? Okay, control. Logically, that's, you simply want to find out the number of records, count of the number of records. So you must have created the object record set here, created, then object record set must be open, and immediately after opening you can find out, even before moving to first, right? You don't have to move to first. Move to first is required for fetching the value from the record, but to find out the number of records you don't have to move to first or move next. So even before, the problem with this line being here is it just move to first and it will only find that one. So instead you do it first, find out the number of records first, then go to each record later. So that's a good idea. Okay, let's run this program now. It should work, otherwise we will see. Number of records -1 again. Okay, let's see. Number of records logically should be 17, I think 17 or something, not -1 definitely. Okay, so where did we go wrong here? Okay, let's do one thing.
After the loop,
Control X.
To the loop.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm going back to here. Okay, here. No, that's why it's showing. We simply want a record count, right? So even record count can be found immediately after object record set is created. That's what I mean. So object record set is opened here, but I am trying to find the here. Okay, let's see. It's not throwing in error. Click. That's understandable, because before opening the record set we cannot find out the number of records in the record set. Okay. Operation is not allowed when the object is closed. That means object is not opened. Even before opening the object, obviously you cannot perform the operation. Okay, but the question is why it is showing -1. Okay, now obviously this is
after
not
the loop, right?
Huh? After ending the loop. Okay, let's try that. That may work. Okay, but let us see. Doesn't make any sense. Why it is showing -1? Number of records. So it should show at the end of the line. Okay, click OK. Enter. Slowly. It will reach 170. Then it will show the number. It should show the number of records. Okay, go. Okay, so it's showing -1. Number of records :-1. Doesn't make any sense. Number of records : whole thing is showing -1. Record count. Count is okay. Just put count. Delete. Okay, let's see count. Okay, we don't have to put it at the end. We can control it. We can put it in the beginning, but only after opening it. So here is a good idea. Okay, maybe the method doesn't exist. Okay. Object doesn't support the method. Okay, there is no method such as count. Method doesn't exist. Okay, let us debug why it is. Hold on. F11. Okay, record count is the one. Okay, that's the correct, but it's fetching wrong value. Okay, let us change the database query itself. Okay, this is correct. This line is perfectly correct. I am 100% sure. Object connect record set dot record count. Okay, now instead of, let us just select order number, right? What is the other value from the database? Orders. Do we have other values? But still it will show the same count, will be same, right? Okay, let us make it just simple one record, and it will have to show one there, number of count of records. Okay, just try where order underscore number is equal to 1. So that means just one record will be fetched, and number of count should be 1 is equal to 1 is equal to 1. Okay, select order number from orders where order number is equal to 1 is in the quotes. I think single quotes. Some database take single quotes, some take double quotes here. So, okay, single quote. Oh, because SQL is wrong, right? Yeah, 37 object. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, what we can do is we can actually the local database system. We can take the local databases. Okay. Okay, let's take this out. Okay, so instead of playing with this database directly, we can take the local database. Okay, let me paste the database locally. So there is just one database, Microsoft database. With the, what is the extension of Microsoft database? .mdb, right? Okay, just find .mdb, star.mdb. I will copy the database to local and give that path instead of doing it from there. Okay, so we got two results. We want flight.mdb. Or we can create our own database. Yeah.
Shall we continue tomorrow, Sangha? Also
9:40, right? Okay, I think that, okay, there we go. This is what I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this locally, stop this. I'll store it in my data pool location, test data. Now you can open and modify this database according to your test case. So why it is showing -1? cannot be opened because you must restart the application to the new security level. What is that? New security level. Security must be. Okay, now we have opened up database. So this is the database table we are dealing with, right? So there are different tables, orders. So these are the values 1 2 3 4 5 until 107. Okay, then go to now why it is showing -1, that is the question. So what I'll do is I'll simply modify this database. What is there in the flights? Okay, flights is okay, let us take flights and we will run it on flight underscore number. Okay, let us see what it is irrespective of that it shouldn't matter. Okay, now only the thing is how do you give your the connection string changes, right? Why connection string changes? Because you are taking from a different path. The database path is not this anymore or different. So I'll take the earlier path from here. So data source is simply your local path or your path from the quality center. So instead of the database path itself, default path. So here I'll just simply change data source path. No problem. Okay, what I'll do is I'll just paste it here and okay, here change the whole thing to c/test data. Just type tested, just type tested. Tcap. Okay, c test. So your database must sit in this particular path, right? C test data flight 32.mdb, flight 32, D capital again. Okay, so this is the data source is equal to, so what I'll do is I'll copy this, Control C, Control V. No, that's not the control. Here didn't copy. Control V. Hold on. Control C. Control V. Okay, now comment this. Comment. Quote. Single quote. Quote. Okay. Now I will use this data source here. So the default connection string is replaced by the local database path. Okay, simply put it in the quotes and starting quotes. Okay, that's it. Save it. Okay. So in this time I am going to change my database SQL query flight underscore number, right? Okay, select flight underscore number. From flights. Hold on. What is the error? Data source name found and no default driver specified. Okay, because the driver must be specified correctly. Data source path is not sufficient. Okay, the provider, this line is missing. Okay, the driver is I will end this in 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes. Call is not.
Can you continue tomorrow? Even I have to have dinner.
Give me 5 minutes. I will end in 5 minutes. Okay. So how it will start? Control it. Okay, bracket is obviously not required. Okay. Provider is equal to underscore then for database. Okay, basically we are okay. We are adding this provider is Microsoft .jet OLEDB 4.0. So one thing is this is the driver. Actually OLEDB is a driver 4.0 version. That is the latest version. So it must be specified. That was the error before. Okay, invalid character. Some characters missing. DB provider and data source is equal to. Let me check. Actual string. So data source is equal to whole thing. Let's go to the end, right? That's an underscore. Looks okay. No, you have to complete. Let me complete. Ampersand underscore. Then your code is ended. No, so data source or something is missing. Provider is this one. Okay, then I am concatenating. Okay, that's right. Here I am using this ampersand as concatenating operator. Underscore. Okay. Underscore. I don't think underscore is required. Underscore is required. No, okay. No, this. Okay, now okay, the program is working with the local database. Still it is showing number of records is -1. Interesting. It will show the whole flight numbers. Okay, tomorrow we will see this flight rest of the program.
Bye.
No, it will still ask. Let it flow one minute. Okay, just press this until end. Just keep pressing. You cannot okay.
देखो पानी लगे कौन
Message box number of records message box type कर दिया ada miss the way to less manual test again I think yeah, this is correct. Last time it worked. This particular line record count is showing wrong record. ఇది ఆమె చెప్పినప్పుడు కదా నా పేరేంటి అదే లాస్ట్ టైం ఒక